Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Let's compare baseball from back then to right now. Back then, he was a raw rookie among future Hall of Famers. But right now, he's achieved immortality on the mound in his own right. Back then, the Mets were lovable losers celebrating their start. But right now, they're wondrous winners celebrating an anniversary. Back then, the Brewers had veteran bangers with proven power. But right now, they've got youthful pitchers with surprising poise. Back then, a lengthy game was wild and wacky. And right now, we'll flash back to that scene. So let's go there and then, right here and now. Here we go, y'all, on This Week in Baseball. Celebrating our 10th anniversary.
Happy 10th anniversary this week in baseball, and here's wishing you good luck on another 10.
Spotlighting the American League. California's Don Sutton makes history.
1-2 the count to Gary Ward, 2 outs in the ninth. He's 1 strike away from 300 victories. He went around and it's over.
A 3-hitter to beat the first-place Rangers made 41-year-old Sutton the 19th pitcher in big league history to win 300, crowning a career now in its 21st season. In 1966, Sutton came up with Los Angeles, joining an outstanding staff that included future Hall of Famers Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale.
Well, we were obviously 3 different types of pitchers, but they had been there and they had enjoyed amazing success. So I would watch Koufax pitch, and I would watch his style of pitching because he was basically a fastball curveball pitcher, and I was too, more curveball than anything, but I could learn a lot from him about his style. And Drysdale was the more gregarious, outgoing type, and he was very open with information about anything from where to eat to what to tip, what to wear, and both of them were very helpful to me, and neither one was selfish with their time or their information. And for a young guy, it couldn't have been a much better situation than to play with those guys.
But Sutton surpassed them both, winning 230 games in 15 seasons with Los Angeles, plus playoff, World Series, and All-Star Game victories, and he holds team records in 8 categories.
I own most of the Dodger records, starts, games, shutouts, wins, tied for complete games, strikeouts. Those are all very important to me. Much more important with that organization than they would be with most others, because when you think of Dodgers, you think of pitching. And you think of the names of Koufax and Drysdale. They had put the numbers there, and they were numbers to shoot at, and I wanted to stay there and pitch well enough to get them. And it means more to me to have them now that I played with those 2 guys than it would if I had never known them.
In 1981, Sutton signed with Houston as a free agent, won 24 games in less than 2 years, going to Milwaukee in September of '82, winning 5 out of 6 down the stretch, including the division clincher in Baltimore on the season's final day. Traded to Oakland before the start of '85, he came to the Angels in September of last year. Sutton has struck out at least 100 batters 20 straight seasons to set a major league record. And now, with 300 victories, he feels he's also set an example.
I would like to think that what it would do would put a stamp of approval on my way of doing my job. I know that I'm not spectacular. I know that I'm not flamboyant. I know that I am not a dominating pitcher. But I worked very hard at my trade. I worked very hard at staying in shape, and I worked very hard at staying a good ball player. And I would hope that it would encourage some people who don't have the ability of Dwight Gooden and Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver to go out and to battle and to put together a good career. That's what I would hope.
You've certainly done that, Don. Congratulations. See you in the Hall of Fame. Next up, New York, where the Red Sox kept rolling against the Yankees. Shades of the '78 Boston collapse to New York? Not this time, as the Sox put down the Yankees with ease in Game 1. Red-hot Roger Clemens tossed a complete Game 4 hitter to go 12-0, a team record for consecutive wins from the start of the season. It put the 23-year-old Clemens just 1 win away from the 13-0 start posted in 1978 by New York's Ron Guidry, who, by the way, suffered the loss for a career-high 6 straight. Guidry was also the last pitcher to beat Clemens in August of last year. Clemens got loads of offensive support, 16 hits and 10 runs. Jim Rice led the way, 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. At age 33, still has a young spirit.
I go out and I try to make this game fun. I don't go out and try to make this game work. When they have a tendency of making it work, you have a tendency of losing a kid that's in you. I want to be just known as an everyday ball player, a guy that goes out and busts his butt, and a guy that not probably can do everything, but doing the best with his ability.
That ability showed in Game 2 when Yankee smiles turned to frowns after new third base coach Don Zimmer sent slow-running Butch Weininger home from second with nobody out. And Rice nailed him at the plate, preserving Boston's 1-run lead. Joe Sambito got the save, giving up 3 hits, no runs, as New York left 15 men on base. The Sox won Game 3 on a 9th-inning bases-loaded double by Don Baylor to pad their lead in the East. On to Milwaukee, where the Brew Crew appeared almost good as new. Nobody figured Milwaukee for much this year after 2 poor seasons, but instead the Brewers are making a surprisingly strong showing to bring back memories of Harvey's Wallbangers, the 1982 team that blasted 216 homers for manager Harvey Keene and captured the American League pennant before losing the World Series to St. Louis in 7 games.
The club those years could hit the baseball and hit it hard. They were a home run hitting type ball club. If you want to sum up that club and this one, they had the power. This club is more or less a singles double hitter with exceptional young arms that can keep you in a ball game. I think the pitching right now is better than they had in '82. However, '82 they could hit the home run and blow you out much quicker than we can right now.
Robin Yount typifies the team's transformation. League MVP in '82 with 29 homers, 114 RBIs. This year, the power stats are down, but he's batting .370 after completing the move from shortstop to the outfield.
Well, I enjoy playing center field. Last year I was in left and didn't care for it too much, but if you have the speed to cover the ground, I think it's an easier position to learn, and I think I've caught on a little quicker there than I did in left.
He's a great center fielder. He's a great athlete. In other words, I think no matter where I play the guy, he's going to do a super job. Right now, he's really, I think he likes the outfield. I really do. Will he play shortstop again? I can't tell you. At the present moment, no, because I don't think his arm is really that strong. Yet he can throw pretty good from the outfield.
Much the same for Ben Ogilvy. Not close to his 34 homers and 102 RBIs in '82, yet hitting for a best-ever average above .340. But good young pitching is the real key to a renewed Brew Crew. For example, 21-year-old rookie Juan Nieves is so far 6-2. Fellow rookie Dan Plesac has come out of the bullpen for 5 saves and 4 wins, while second-year starter Teddy Higuera had 9 wins, a 2.3 ERA, 8 complete games to lead the league, and 98 strikeouts to rank second in the league.
All these young kids, we didn't bring them in because they were young. We brought them in because they do have talent and they had success in the minor leagues. So we said they're ready. So let's make a bunch of moves, get these kids up, get their feet wet. In a year or so, we'll be fighting for the pennant again.
Now, let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's Twib Notes from around the American League. For Texas Ranger Charlie Huff, a game loss that was mighty tough. 2 outs away from pitching a no-hitter against California, Huff was facing Wally Joyner after a 3-base error that allowed Jack Howell to reach third.
Base hit. The no-hitter is gone, and it's a tie game.
After out number 2, Joyner went to second on a passed ball, setting the stage for a most bizarre play on a pitch to George Hendrick.
Got him, but it gets away. A play at first. Orlando will not throw it, and the run scores, and the Angels win on a strikeout. Nobody covered home.
Sorry, Charlie. Tony La Russa's White Sox haven't had much to cheer about this year, but in a loss to Seattle, there was one play that gave Chicago a smile.
That's hit to left. Harrison coming on now, stops. There's the catch. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be close, and they get him. The throw back to second. They get him. A triple play, and the inning is over. How do you do?
Baltimore Baltimore speedster Alan Wiggins was on first base, and Tiger manager Sparky Anderson wanted to keep him close. So catcher Lance Parrish threw down, but Wiggins got back in time. Then pitcher Randy O'Neill threw over, but Wiggins again got back safely. O'Neill tried yet another pickoff attempt, but this time first baseman Dave Bergman faked the throw back to the mound, held on to the ball, tagged out Wiggins easily with the old hidden ball trick. How about that? In Baltimore's previous series, Juan Benitez hammered 3 home runs in one night against the Yankees. Although New York won the ball game and went on to take 3 out of 4 from the Orioles to move back into second place. Just a week earlier, Baltimore's Lee Lacy belted 3 homers in one game in New York. Now, this week's quiz brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to test drive the totally new 1987 Nissan Stanza at your Nissan dealer now. Kansas City's Willie Wilson committed 2 errors in 4 days after going 163 straight games without one. Now, for this week's quiz, who holds the mark for most consecutive games without an error by an outfielder? Stay tuned for a man who played on 6 teams in 11 years. National League. The New York Mets in the East are out of sight. The amazing Mets are mowing down opponents left and right, charging off to the best record in the majors with 44 wins in their first 62 games. This is the Mets' 25th anniversary, and the 86 club has already won more games than the 62 team did all season under inimitable manager Casey Stengel.
Everybody has to fight for a job. The coaches have to fight for a job. I got to fight to hold this job, too. I have to have this club better. We can't just go along and feel sick after each ball game, and I don't want to get sick after ball games. I love to win myself, and I think these men are getting so, they're getting better. When you hold me in your we have to find the first 5 or 6 starting pitchers that are going to be on the New York Mets.
My pitching staff is outstanding. That was going to be the strong suit we had going into the season, and we spared that.
We know something's gonna change, nothing's gonna last forever. In other words, if you can hit, or if you can run, well, you're going to become very valuable to the club and help the pitching staff. When I touch you, it's gotta be for good, only if we could. But we don't want to use coaches. We're trying to make you so perfect that you wouldn't need a coach. Feels so good, I was saying this is now. That was saying this is now. Public in New York supported the ball club. They were loyal for years and years to the New York Giants. They were loyal to the Brooklyn Dodgers. We only had one team there, which was the Yankee team. It was doing splendid in itself, but they wanted to see another team come back into the field. And why shouldn't they go out and patronize? There's too many people in New York City. It's a cosmopolitan town in which when you go into a city of that size, there should be more than one entertainment.
A long way from then to now, but the Mets figure to celebrate by making this a sensational silver anniversary with a pennant. And now let's review this week in baseball's twib notes from around the National League. Chili Davis has been spicing up San Francisco. His 3-run ninth-inning homer not only beat Houston, but also gave Davis the league lead in RBIs. In the 4-game series, he hit .400 with 6 RBIs, and he had a total of 48. The seesaw series with first place in the West at stake also saw Houston's Phil Garner supply home run heroics with a grand slam, the 100th homer of his career. Each team won 2 games in the series as the Astros remained atop the division. Rafael Ramirez faced Los Angeles with Atlanta down by 1 in the last of the 10th, and he doubled home 2 runs to win it, giving the Braves an 8-1 mark in extra inning games, one reason why they're in the Western Division chase. Gene Michael was named Chicago Cubs skipper after Jim Frey was dismissed in the league's first managerial move this season. Michael was ejected from his first game and the Cubs lost, but they won their next 2. For parts of 1981 and 82, Michael managed the Yankees, and he was their third base coach when the Cubs hired him. Now, let's find out the answer to this week's Nissan quiz. Don Demeter played 266 consecutive games without committing an error, the big league record for outfielders. Demeter played on 6 teams in his 11-year career, setting the mark with Philadelphia and Detroit from late 1962 through mid-1965. Hey, man, wake up and face the music, because let's face it, it's not easy saving face after fouling up in the field. Facts. Now and then big leaguers are going to do an about face. Oh, man, get out of my face. Straight face can be hard in the face of such frivolity. Time now to get serious and put on a game face for some fancy fielders that gave hitters fits. First up, Los Angeles pitcher Tom Niedenfuhr, doing it anyway, which way? Dodger teammate Reggie Williams. Toronto Blue Jay George Bell. New York Yankee Mike Pagliarulo. Atlanta's Bob Horner. Boston's Marty Barrett. Seattle's Harold Reynolds. California's Wally Joyner. Montreal's Tim Wallach. Detroit's Dave Collins with a double dip. He got it. One more time now for Dodger Reggie Williams. The Yankees again with Dave Winfield. Baltimore's Juan Benitez. And finally, an Oriole encore, John Shelby. Now it's time for This Week in Baseball's 10th anniversary flashback, brought to you by Gatorade. Let's flash back to 1985. On July 4th, the weary New York Mets played the beleaguered Atlanta Braves in one of the longest and wackiest games in memory. After 2 rain delays, everybody was beginning to get, well, a little bleary-eyed. By the 13th inning, the lead had changed hands 5 times. And with the Mets up by 2, it was well after midnight when Terry Harper batted with a man on base.
And the 0-2. There's a drive to left. If it's fair, it is fair. It's a tie ball game. Harper hit the foul pole.
So the teams played on and on and on. In the top of the 18th, New York scored again to go up by a run. And in the bottom of the inning, Atlanta pitcher Rick Kemp was forced to bat because the Braves had already used all their pinch hitters.
It'll be an 0-2 pitch. And he is at the deep left. Heat goes back. It is gone. Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. I don't believe it. That certifies this game as the wackiest, wildest, most improbable game in history.
The one thing I'll never forget about that game, there was only, I think we only had 9 guys left on our team to play. But a guy on our team that had probably had the worst swing of anybody in baseball, by the name of Rick Camp, came up in the bottom of the 18th inning. We need 1 run to tie. He's a pitcher. He's throwing, and we really don't have anybody left. He's got to hit for himself. And he comes up and hits a home run to tie the ball game in the bottom of the 18th inning. I don't think I'll ever forget that as long as I live.
But there were several other things that happened in the game. Of course, 2 major rain delays ran the game into almost 5 minutes to 4 in the morning. Then at about 4:01 or 4:02 in the morning, they fired off the fireworks because it was supposed to be a 4th of July celebration. Well, there was a lot of fans that were still in the stands waiting for that. But then there was also the ones that were woken up by the fireworks and all, were calling the police station saying they were being invaded or what have you, or bombed. But that's one game that I'll never forget.
Ron Darling was used in relief, and he faced, you guessed it, Rick Camp in the last of the 19th.
Swing and a miss. Rick Camp strikes out, and this ball game is over. The final score, 16-13.
Latest ending game by time in league history. And that's all for now, folks, but see you next week on This Week in Baseball.
Watch all the action tonight at 8:30 when the Tribe battles the Minnesota Twins on WUAB. The Herb Scores Sports Show is next, right here on Channel 43.